Blue tires. So if you know you need tires, now's the time. If you think you're on the brink of getting tires, bring it in. They'll be honest. They'll say, yeah, you're probably due for some new tires. Buy these four and we'll get you a $100 Luther gift card. It's the way to go. LutherAuto.com for locations. It is the Luther Tire event.
O'Reilly Auto Parts has everything from tractor belts and hoses to hydraulic fluid and filters in stock. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Draft coverage all weekend is presented by Pep's Drafthouse Pizza on the audio home of the Vikings, iHeartRadio, and FM 100.3, KFXN, Minneapolis, St. Paul, The Fan.
Welcome to the 69th annual Power Trip NFL Mock Draft.
Can you believe it? Saucy, can you believe it?
Let's go.
Today's the day. It's finally here.
It's the best. I can't wait. I'm excited. As my wife posted on Twitter, she overheard me saying I'm jacked to the T-words, and I'm jacked to the T-words.
We have an entire cast of NFL great minds, including behind me and to my right, back and to the left, Paul Charchin. Charch, good morning and welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. You are our resident better than Mel Kiper Jr. We're glad to have you. Thank you for always being a part of our show.
Well, I'm more accurate than Mel Kiper Jr., but there are hamsters that are more accurate than Mel Kiper Jr. So I don't think it's saying a lot.
Hey, can we do one thing with Charge before we move on? Can you play the soundbite that we're all debating, and Charge himself can say whether it's his voice or PA's voice?
I will if you admit that nobody's debating it but like two people.
It is weird.
Here we go.
This could be the end of the debate, correct? If Charge just says that's me or that's not me, this could be it.
Oh, good.
That's not me.
Of course it's not.
Of course it's not you.
No, that's not my voice.
PA.
See, look, Dave Sinekin just goes, that's Charge.
That's PA.
What? And Greg just said it's Charge. What's happening?
No.
That's
100%
Stop it, Cindy. Now you're just trolling
I don't
us.
have headphones on, but play it again.
Play one more time.
Oh, good.
Well, it could be PA. That's PA.
It's definitely
It's
PA.
100% PA. This is the weirdest soundbite in the history of the of KFAN. I don't understand why it's so polarizing.
Our own voices always sound weird to us.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound like me to me.
Oh, good.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not.
Say, oh, good.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Now I got to say it just like that. Oh, good.
Not like you're making a recipe.
Brilliant.
Say it like,
Yeah, try to
say it
impersonate
like
that.
PA said it.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
All right, now I got
It's
plenty for the button.
definitely PA.
Yeah,
All right,
definitely.
that
Okay,
ends it.
it's settled now. Now we get to business. We have, again, a giant cast of characters. Corey, would you please introduce everybody? Let everybody know who's here, please.
Greg Swedberg is here.
Hi,
He
Greg.
is eventually going to fall on the program password invitational, but for now he's paired with Charge. Congratulations. Greg, you love the NFL draft. You like following this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a sickness. It's been a sickness for decades for me. So, yeah. No, I'm fired up. This is the weirdest draft in a long time for the Vikings.
Yes.
Because there's so many really brutal decisions to make.
Well, let's see which one they make tonight. Ben Lieber is here. Hi, Benjamin Lieber.
Good morning, guys. And I'm going to treat this like the initials game where I'm going to shout out a potential sponsor. It's not a sponsor. It's just a thank you. I brought in cheesecake for everybody. If you guys did not see that
nice.
already.
What?
Those cheesecakes out there for everybody in this room, plus everybody here in this building. It's from my friend Vanessa at Cheesecake Funk.
Oh, my.
And so we have, we've got peanut butter, we've got fresh blueberry, and we have espresso. So please help yourself after you make your selection.
Fantastic.
Whoa.
And you're a part of the
Cheesecake
broadcast
Funk?
tonight.
And I will be at US Bank Stadium, which I heard is going to be packed
Sold
house.
out,
The
Ben.
whole
Sold out.
The whole
Yeah.
floor is going to be just thousands of Vikings fans
Hell
just
yeah.
going crazy. So I cannot wait.
Mark Rosen is here. You might remember him from Channel 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be over at U.S. Bank as well, kind of documenting, I think, what Ben just talked about, maybe some fans' reaction. I'll post some stuff on social media and of course, send everyone over to the Fan to listen to our great broadcast tonight, to the in-depth analysis of what's going to happen. And many drafts as I've covered, I can't recall one that's had more anticipation, more angst, more hand-wringing than this one for Viking fans, because it's there's so much on the line, and yet everything will be determined tonight, and nothing will be determined tonight, because I think they have their starting quarterback for the opening game already in tow.
Oh, that'll be fun.
We'll see.
Max is here, and his Titans have a top 10 pick. So what perfect timing for Max. So.
Amongst all these draft experts, I kind of feel like two kids standing on each other's shoulders with a trench coat pretending to be an adult, but I'm honored to be a part of the draft.
Well, you are the star of the Timberwolves coverage on the KFAN radio network here, so we thank you for also lending your expert knowledge to the NFL draft.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome, brother.
Meat Sauce Paul Lambert is here. This is his Christmas. Just a handful of hours ago, he said, I'm jacked to the T's. Where's my Dark Star hat?
I found my Dark Star hat, and
Allen
I'm still.
Iverson did?
Yep. AI found it, and I'm still jacked to the T words. This is the best day of the year. I love every second of this. I can't wait. Let's hope the Vikings can find themselves a quarterback, and if they don't, I think all hellfire will rain down.
The head cheese himself from In the Zone, Packers preview and more, Dave Sinekin. Hi, Dave.
Hey, guys. Just great to be here. It's always fun to follow a team that drafts quarterbacks when they're not desperate to draft quarterbacks. So I'm going to enjoy the show this morning.
Okay.
Never mind.
In the other room over there, Paul Charchin. We've already talked to you. Charch, thanks for joining again, as always.
I'm glad to be here. I'll be playing the role of the Patriots, Colts, and Steelers today.
Patriots pretty critical to this
Yes,
mock draft and
correcto.
all drafts. Eric Nordquist is back there. Nordo from 9 to noon joins the Power Trip mock draft for the, billionth year in a row. Hi, Nordo.
Hi, Nardo.
And, of course, the great Paul Allen will be joining us as well. Now, here's the thing, guys. As always, in the 69th annual Power Trip mock draft, no trades.
Right.
Okay, that's number one. And number two,
That's
PA
to you,
will be
Greg.
picking for the Vikes. Now, here's how it will go. PA will pick for the Vikes both times. PA will pick according to how our draft goes, and he'll also tell us what he thinks will really happen. So we'll get a little reality thrown in there as well. And then, of course, we'll all discuss what we think is really going to happen. But, again, PA is going to pick according to how it's going, according to us, and then give us his reality break. Got it? Everybody got it?
Should we get this thing up and running? Are you guys
Let's
ready
go.
to start?
Let's
Should we
do
it?
this.
Welcome to the 69th annual Power Trip NFL Mock Draft.
The first pick is the Chicago Bears. This is the pick that they got because of the Carolina Panthers completely sucking with Bryce Young. So the Bears have pick number 1, and we are giving that pick to Ben Lieber. Hi, Ben.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Sauce, for giving me the most boring pick of this whole draft. But, it's fine. Somebody has to make this selection, so I'm happy to kick this whole thing off. And as much as we have to kind of weigh the options here, like who's the best quarterback and all this other stuff, and we all know they're going to take Caleb Williams. I really want to desperately take Jaden Daniels just because I don't love Caleb's personality. I think it is going to be a problem, but there's no denying his physical traits and what he can do as a pocket passer with that rocket arm, and also the way he can create and extend some plays. So I am going to select Caleb Williams.
But you brought up the one thing that we, I think, mentioned about a week ago, that everybody's worried about maybe Drake May is going to be a bust. Maybe J.J. McCarthy's going to be a bust. Almost no one's talking about the obvious, that there's no guarantee for Caleb Williams at all.
Yeah, and it all is between the ears for him. I think he has all the physical talent. I mean, and I think that when you watch him on film, he has a lot more talent inside the pocket than people want to give him credit for. And he's addressed that as well. He's like, look, man, I'm more than just a guy that can run around and escape and make some plays with my legs. I'm actually a pretty good pocket passer, and the tape will tell you that. I just think that there are just some personality quirks and traits that I think are questionable. And let's see if he can be the leader of a $1 billion franchise that's hoping to have a lakefront stadium with his face on it.
What do you think, Charch?
Ben, do you worry at all about the entitlement? I mean, that's the word that gets tagged to him a lot because he's been the big man on campus, and he's been expected to be the first overall player taken now for like 3 years in this draft. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people worry that Caleb Williams has an entitlement issue. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's all legit arguments. And I know that he was a younger player, but how much do you weigh the fact that he couldn't beat out Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma? He instead of using that as motivation to be like, you know what, I'm gonna beat this guy out. I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna come back even stronger. He's just like, no, I'm packing my bags and leaving. You know, and I know that he ends up in a great situation with his former coach as his new head coach in USC, but I don't know. The thing is, like, I think we magnify it because it's the starting quarterback and it's Caleb Williams, but that is the life we live now with college athletes. Like, if you don't like something, then I'm just going to take my ball and go home, and I'm just going to leave. So that argument could be made for a lot of guys. It's just, I think we over-evaluate it when it's a guy like Caleb, along with all the other things that I think have kind of popped up with him.
Speaking of meat sauce, you have the second selection. Caleb Williams off the board. He goes to the Chicago Bears. Washington on the clock, pick number 2.
The Washington Commanders have probably, next to the Bears, the second easiest pick in this draft. And I'm going to give them Jaden Daniels because I like a guy who goes on a 4-person meeting when the Commanders bring all those quarterbacks in and throws a fit because it's not about him. So Jaden Daniels is my kind of guy. He dominated at LSU, threw 40 touchdowns. He ran for 10. He's a dynamite player. He will be very good with Washington as long as they can put an offensive line around him. And I know they've got some decent receivers, Charge, but Jaden Daniels is the number 2 pick to the Washington Commanders.
Potentially more upside than Caleb Williams has if it all comes together for Jaden Daniels. You get the amazing deep ball and the mobility that is really hard to find in one person, the escapability, the big plays, the solid fundamentals. There's a lot to like about Jaden Daniels, and I think that's the likely selection that Washington will make tonight.
Can I ask you guys, as somebody who's not as familiar as you guys are with these players, just watching them, the eye test tells me he's better than Caleb. What do people?
I know. That's why I'm like, if I truly am acting like the Chicago Bears, and like I don't know, they've already overplayed their hand. Everybody knows you're going to take Caleb, but I would have come down to the very end and say, like, it's a toss-up between these two. Like, there's no guarantee that we're taking Caleb because I think you really have to consider Jaden and what he's done. And before I pass the mic on, everybody wants to talk about Jaden and what he can do as a creator. He had a historic year last year. His passer rating when he was a passer set the highest mark in college football ever.
4 interceptions.
Yes.
4.
So don't sleep on him as an actual passer.
One other thing, too, because as you guys talk about their abilities and personality traits, of course, I'm interested in the gambling part of this. Remember about a week ago, Sauce, Drake May and Jaden Daniels were pretty close for that second overall pick. The numbers were starting to kind of shrink and get pushed together. Now, as of draft morning, Jaden Daniels, the heavy favorite to go with pick number 2, minus 1,000 on DraftKings. So 1 to 10, basically. That's a virtual lock, Greg.
Daniels is skinny. He's a slight player. If he gets hit a lot, he's very likely to get hurt. I think there's some comparison to Kyler Murray here. The fact but I think he's smarter than Kyler Murray is. But there's people. This is the problem with this draft. There's people who think that he's the second best guy. There's people who think Drake May's the second best guy. There's people who think J.J. McCarthy's the second best guy. There's not a ton of consensus here. I think Corey's betting angle is probably as good as any. But it's really hard to say this guy's better than that guy and who's better than that guy.
Unless you're on the Power Trip mock draft and we're the experts.
Exactly.
Correct.
Speaking of experts, Charge, you're on the clock.
I am New England's quasi-general manager, Elliot Wolf. My team needs look like this. After years of ruinous drafts by the worst general manager in the history of the NFL, Bill Belichick, my team needs are all.
Yes.
The Vikings fans would like the Patriots front office to take the position that they should trade this pick to Minnesota and give up on solving their own quarterback problem to conveniently help the Vikings. That is not going to happen. We are going to get our quarterback, and then we'll build around him in subsequent drafts, not the other way around. Look at Houston last year as an example. Get your quarterback when you have the opportunity and you're at the top of the draft. We're going to do that here. We're going to take Drake May.
Drake May is the DraftKings favorite as well, minus 240. J.J. McCarthy second at plus 190 to go.
Charge, how do you feel about Charge's pick?
I love Charge's pick. I thought it had a lot of insight. We love the fact that he overcame a lot of obstacles on his own offense, including a terrible offensive line and wide receivers that didn't get open very often. Love the mobility, keeps his eyes downfield on broken plays. I like the processing. I like the strength. Fundamentals are good. People ding him for a slow release and that he misses some easy throws. The slow release does worry me a little bit, but I'll work through easy throws. I mean, if that's what I have to overcome with my quarterback is getting him to make the easy throws, I'll work with that. That's a challenge accepted.
Charge, how many teams are going to be ringing that phone of the Patriots in those 10 minutes that they have to make that selection to try to pry that pick out of their grasp?
I know it's a contrarian viewpoint, but I think most teams know that the price to move to get him is going to be too high, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of action here. And I do think the Patriots are going to hold that pick.
Right?
Yeah, and I like the fact that you're supporting the idea that I had to as well, is that if you've got a quarterback, you're in the draft at number 3, and it is a quarterback-heavy draft, why wait?
Right.
Why gamble and wait and trade down and wait till next year and hold on, we got to build all the pieces around you before we get the quarterback. I hope they go the way that you're thinking as well, is get the quarterback, and then we have a bunch of draft picks still this year, and we can still build next year through free agency and the draft. It might be a little bit of a process, but get the quarterback now.
Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May 3. That brings pick 4, the Arizona Cardinals, and Greg Swedberg.
And their phone is ringing too, and there's people wanting this pick. The Giants have been trying to fake interest in this pick. I don't think the Giants really have interest.
Correct.
I think the Giants want to pick a wide receiver.
You are correct.
And they'd really like to have the Vikings trade into here to pick up a quarterback, so they're guaranteed one of the 2 good receivers. But since we're not trading picks here, and again, the whole point of this draft is trading, right? That's really what's going to be important tonight. The easy pick here is probably the real best player in the draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. The Cardinals need a wide receiver. It's been mocked, and it's so funny. All the pre-draft steam, people have been trying to downgrade this guy. You can't. He's too good. And for the Vikings fans who keep saying, well, let's just trade Justin Jefferson to Arizona for this pick. Why would Arizona do that? Because you're going to get a player every bit as good as Justin Jefferson, and you get him for 5 years, and the idea that, and then you don't have to pay him $32 million. So Vikings fans, calm down on trading JJ for this pick because it's a stupid take.
Charge.
This is the probable pick, Marvin Harrison. If it's not him, some people think Malik Neighbors will go here. But I think Greg's really hit it on the head. This is a team that desperately needs wide receivers, and you've got what looks like a generational talent in Marvin Harrison, maybe the best prospect to come out in a decade at the position. Some people think he's the single best player in this draft, and in fact, a lot of people do.
If you think Malik Neighbors is going to go here, you should bet on it, because on DraftKings, Harrison's minus 250, pretty heavy favorite. Neighbors 20-1 to go fourth.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really think it comes down to personal preference. You as a team, you as an offense, do you want a 6'3" receiver? Do you value that more than a 6-foot receiver? Do you like suddenness and start and stop? That would be more like Malik Neighbors. Do you like more of a guy that can go down the field with vertical threat? I mean, I think both those guys are going to be great. I know people are going to nitpick at certain attributes, but they're 2 different types of players. But I agree. I think that he is the top of the draft as far as best available overall, and this is going to be a home run selection for them.
Pick number 5 is the Los Angeles Chargers of Anaheim, and Eric Nordquist from 9 to noon.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, Nordo.
Fantastic. Happy draft day, by the way. This is amazing. And I must say this, Hawk, as a hat guy, I rarely see you without – you look terrific without a hat on this morning. So I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
The Chargers here. So whether it's DraftKings, it's FanDuel, a lot of people have them trying to upgrade Apple Valley, Minnesota's finest, Trey Pipkins. But in an offseason of shedding offensive talent, replacing them with his brother John Harbaugh's leftovers in Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, they're going to make a splash here with the new head coach, and they're going to take – not Marvin Harrison Jr., he's gone. They're going to take wide receiver Malik Neighbors, LSU, and get somebody for other than Josh Palmer and what is so far proven to be a mediocre receiver in Quentin Johnston. They're going to give Mr. Herbert somebody to throw and score some points with.
So, Charge, before we go to you quickly, this is the first one that would go against DraftKings, but not by a bunch. J.C. Latham is the favorite at plus 275. Neighbors is 5th most likely at plus 350, so pretty close. But to Nordo's point, Charge, I know they have a lot of offensive line options at pick 5 here, but he goes with the wide receiver. What do you think of Malik Neighbors going to Jim Harbaugh?
I think this is the right pick. And the offensive line, remember, the Chargers have gone offensive line in the first round last year and the year before. Yeah. I don't think they're going with another offensive lineman. It's granted, Jim Harbaugh loves his offensive lines, but the need is not nearly as severe as the need is at wide receiver. Now, granted, they put a first-rounder into a wide receiver last year, Quentin Johnson, but he looks like a grade A bust. So that's a position. It's a position of need, and the next best player on the board is Malik Neighbors.
I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, all of a sudden now the Giants are in the J.J. McCarthy business. They have to at least think about it at this point because the two good receivers are gone.
Well, Rome Odunze is a monster as well. I mean, it's 1A, 1B, 1C. He's that good. There's hot rumors that the Cardinals may really like Odunze, and that's why they might trade down, that they could get Odunze at 8 or 9.
Pick 6 is the New York Giants. Dave Sinekin.
Well, this is a fun pick all of a sudden. We'd like to make the theme of this pick the apology segment. We want to apologize to J.J. McCarthy for bringing him in twice for meetings and show that we loved him. We want to apologize to the Viking fan base for freaking you out, to make you think that we want a quarterback. But the bottom line is our ownership said, wait, you just paid Daniel Jones $40 million last year, and he got hurt, and now you're going to just throw him to the curb, and you brought in Drew Lock, and you got the Italian Stallion? No, you can wait a year on a quarterback. Why don't you give Daniel Jones a chance to be somebody, to be a contender? We really wanted Malik Neighbors. We thought he would be there, but we will take the consolation prize, a Larry Fitzgerald clone, a captain, a physical presence, a guy that's going to win the 50-50 ball, a champion in your locker room. We are thrilled to add Rome Odunze to the Giants football team this evening.
George.
Giants need wide receiver as well, and Rome Odunze is a totally valid selection here. Love that he's a physical beast who wins all those contested catches, the elite tracking skills, all the big plays on tape. There's a lot to love about Rome Odunze. You know, this is a team that needs a lot of things. They could go tight end. They need one now. They could go offensive line. They've been struggling to get an offensive line going for a decade. But Rome Odunze makes a ton of sense. No problem with that selection by Cine.
And if the draft falls like this, where it goes Williams, Daniels, May, and then those 3 wide receivers in a row, if you look at 7 through 10, the 4 teams ahead of the Vikings, Titans, Falcons, Bears, and Jets. Unless the Jets troll Aaron Rodgers and take a backup quarterback, right, in J.J. McCarthy to back him up.
It's actually a smart play, but
if which they could, but
Not with Aaron Rodgers.
Right, with Rodgers there, he'd throw a
fit.
But those 4 teams don't need a quarterback unless those teams trade out of there, right? So you could have a McCarthy fall to 11 if nobody trades up.
But the Broncos are lurking too.
For sure, and the Raiders, there's teams that want to move
There
up.
are teams below the Vikes that are very interested.
Yep. You'd have to
It's
think
why
about
you
moving
have
up.
to think about moving up. And it's,
Correct.
Field Yates drafted ESPN basically says this is where the Vikings will trade into is this range.
7, 8, 9, 10. Got it. More of the Power Trip mock draft after this on The Fan.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Quick Trip Traffic Center, here's a look at the roads. Very busy out there now. 694 West. On the right shoulder, and there could be some debris there, so look for that. And 494 westbound, Cedar Avenue to Penn Avenue, stop and go. That's traffic on The Fan. Traffic is sponsored by WeBuyAnyCar.com. Before you sell or trade in, find out how much your car is worth at WeBuyAnyCar.com. They make selling your car fast, safe, and fair. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
9520 Res. It's Corey Cove, Power Trip Morning Show for my friends at Zero Res. It doesn't matter if it's the draft or if it's a grad party. If you have an event that you're hosting, look, you want your home to look clean, whether it's your carpets, your rugs, tile, upholstery. You want the air in your home to be clean, like your air duct system. Of course, you can have all of those things cleaned by Zero Res. The right way, the Zero Res way. I've been doing that for a decade plus. I got a grad party for my daughter in a couple of months. We're going to have Zero Res out, make sure it's clean and ready to go. So if you either have an event or just spring cleaning in general, and you want Zero Res to be a part of it, 2 ways to get a hold of them, 952 Res or ZeroResMinnesota.com. Mention KFAN or tell them that you heard Corey Cove on the Power Trip Morning Show on KFAN talking about it. They're going to get you 3 rooms of carpet cleaned the right way, starting at just $129, and they'll take $75 off that air duct cleaning package. So they have an awesome rating, 4.9 Google rating with like thousands of reviews. They have a gotta love it guarantee. You're going to love Zero Res. You're going to see why I've been using them for 10 plus years. 952 Res.
Hey, this is Jeremy at Unique Classic Cars in Mankato, and I know this is the summer that you want to finally drive around in the classic or muscle car of your dreams and we are the best place to find it. Go to uniqueclassiccars.com to shop for your dream car today.
April showers bring wet basements. Standard Water Control is the waterproofing foundation repair and sump pump expert since 1977. Installation, service, and repair for all wet basement issues. Peace of mind starting at just $199. Visit standardwater.com for details. Standardwater.com.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Raising Cane's One Love. They'll get you those chicken fingers fast at Raising Cane's, and maybe you need them tonight for the big draft party. If you want to have people over to watch the old draft, why not have Raising Cane's cater it and just get a whole bunch of chicken fingers for the best possible party? But whether it is the mobile app or raisingcanes.com, the drive-through, or if you go into the store itself, they will get you those chicken fingers, the best chicken fingers on the planet, fast. They're cooked to order. They're fresh. They're never, ever frozen. They have the Texas toast, the crinkle-cut fries, the lemonade, the sweet tea, the cane sauce. What do you want at Raising Cane's? What do you want is the best chicken fingers on the planet. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Raising Cane's One Love.
Ben's Appearance is sponsored by Lexus of Wayzata and Maplewood.
Hi, Chris Hawkins. I'm here to talk to you about your meat sticks. What do you like to do for snacks? If you're saying, man, I like donuts, I like to carb it up. It's probably not the best thing to do, and it's also not the best tasting thing you can do. Wenzel's Farm meat snacks, jerky, the meat sticks, which you can get everywhere. I mean, if you're a quick trip, go through the grab and go section, grab some, and go. Pay for them first. You get my point, though. Listen, 14 different flavors, delicious. No, I don't even know what binders are, but I know they're not in Wenzel's Farm meat snacks. Okay, there's no fakery. Just 100% American meat. I have to say it like that. 100% American meat. Quick Trip, Menards, Flea Farm, or Wenzel'sFarm.com. You will love Wenzel's Farm meat snacks. Wenzel'sFarm.com. Real meat for real life.
From the Your Boat Club Weather Center.
This report is sponsored by Luther Brookdale Mazda.
Exclusively at Luther Mazda. 0% financing for 36 months on Mazda CX-30s, Mazda CX-5s, and Mazda CX-50s. Or $1,000 auto show bonus cash. Free oil changes, gas and car wash discounts. LutherMazda.com. See dealer for details. The only thing we overlook is $694.
Fan forecast.
Mostly sunny, high of 69 today.
Hey, thanks for listening to The Fan wherever and whenever, live on our iHeartRadio app. The Fan.
Welcome back to the 69th annual NFL Mock Draft.
That's right. 3 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers. And we are pick number 7. And Hootie Who is on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome into the experience the basketball expert himself, the Wolves superfan, Maxo.
Hey!
Max Fuller, everybody. Hi, Maxo.
Maxo!
What's good, y'all? Happy to be making the 7th overall pick for my Tennessee Titans. And something that me and my Tennessee Titans have in common, aside from a lifetime of mediocrity, is that we both have had a little too much fun with no protection.
Yes!
But unlike me, Planned Parenthood can't help the Titans, whose offensive line saw more sacks than Tommy Olson last year. Their left tackles in particular gave up 29 sacks. And I think the AFC South is going to get triple X rated this season, and the Titans need to wrap it up and get some protection for Will Levis. So with the 7th overall pick, the Titans will take Joe Alt, Minnesota boy out of Notre Dame.
Love it.
Great pick.
What do you think of that?
Perfect pick. The Totino Grace kid goes here. You get the pedigree, right? Dad was a 14-year starter for the Chiefs in the Ring of Honor in Kansas City. You get the brother in the NHL. Footwork, the agility, balance. He's the best tackle in this draft. It's in a different year, Joe Alt would probably go higher than where he's going here, but just because of the freakish nature of these wide receivers and quarterbacks, he falls to 7. It's certainly a spot of team need for the Titans, and as I don't think Will Levis is really a good quarterback. I would consider quarterback here if I were the Titans, but Joe Alt is the favorite, and he makes a ton of sense in this spot.
Pick 8 is the Atlanta Falcons. And Mark Rosen, you once did a show called Under Center with Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins is now in Atlanta. So you've probably talked to him. You know exactly who this pick is going to be.
I do 100%. We've had nothing but offense and quarterbacks and wide receivers off the board so far, which is that kind of a draft. But now it's time to turn to the defensive side of the football. And Atlanta got their QB. They got their running back. They got some decent wide receivers, but they don't have the defense that Raheem Morris wants. So I think, and it's a tough call because I know I got the Bears pick coming up next. Charge will weigh in on this, but I'm going to go because of this pedigree. The edge rusher from Alabama, Dallas Turner, 6'4", 250, monster off the edge. So I'm going to go with Dallas Turner to help Kirk Cousins get the ball back quicker than he was getting it back here in Minnesota.
Charge.
The Chicago defense got a lot better last year, but it still needs a lot of help. You could go offensive line with this selection as well and put
Talking
Caleb
Falcons?
Williams.
Falcons.
I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Dallas Turner makes a ton of sense. They don't need offense. They've got
Right.
skilled position set, offensive line set, explosive. You get the great hands, super strong, anchor type guy, works with leverage really, really well. He's the highest pedigree edge rusher here. There are some people that like some of the others. Jared Verse better, Leatu Latu better, but Dallas Turner is to the Falcons is where he's almost every mock draft has him going here, and it makes a ton of sense.
Ben, you like Dallas Turner?
Yeah, I like Dallas Turner. I don't maybe love him at this high of a selection. I like Leatu Latu best, but it does again come down to what you're looking for. Latu is probably more of a he can be versatile with his hand on the ground or off the edge in a 2-point stance. I think Dallas Turner is more of a versatility guy, more of a true pass rushing guy that is going to be great as he can be an inside rusher from an off the ball linebacker standpoint. He can rush off the edge. I don't think he's as good against the run as Latu is, but again, it's if you just want a package guy, especially in year one, that can be that can be sort of this pass rush specialist. I think that he's a good guy to select.
The NFL mock draft brought to you by Pep's Drafthouse Pizza continues. Back-to-back picks from Mark Rosen.
Yeah, the Bears are up next, and Caleb Williams, I heard him yesterday. He would love to have an offensive tackle to help protect him and guard his life. Well, I think the Bears management may have a different way of looking at it. I think they're also going to go defense. They have, again, another pick high in this first round, and guy I'd love to see the Vikings end up with, but probably not going to happen. Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle, the inside of that line that the Bears could use some help. A youthful movement for Chicago. So I'm going to go with the big man from Texas to help plug some big holes in the middle of that defensive line.
Byron Murphy is the best pass rushing defensive tackle in this draft. In fact, he led FBS in pass rush win rate last year. You get burst, you get power, tons of flexibility, just a freakish athlete. Byron Murphy's stock has only gone up over the last 5-6 weeks to the point where this is somebody that was originally thought to go in the 20s. Now I think this is about where he's going to go. So I like this pick, and it makes a ton of sense. They need
so
D-tackle help for sure.
Ben, big fat guy or athletic?
More athletic. He's only 6 foot, and I think that's the one thing that
6 feet tall.
Yeah.
What's he weigh?
6 foot, 297.
That's a huge bitch.
Not really. No, like Charch was saying, I mean, he is an awesome force from the inside, super quick. The concerns are just you're a 6 foot interior defensive lineman. Are you okay with maybe losing some battles in the run game, maybe not holding up for 4 quarters, being a 3-down guy? But if you want immediate pressure from the inside, this is your guy.
The New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps last year, Max, but you're making the selection right before the Vikings at pick 11. The Jets are on the clock at pick 10.
And the Jets season basically lasted 2 minutes last year. And look, we all know sometimes some magic can happen in 2 minutes, but that was not the case for the Jets. Some in New York want an offensive lineman. Some in the Big Apple want a wide receiver. So I think the Jets meet in the middle here and between Olivia Munn and Danica Patrick. Aaron Rodgers has shown a penchant for great tight ends off the field, but I think tonight the Jets get him an elite tight end on the field, and with the 10th overall pick, the New York Jets will select Brock Bowers out of Georgia.
Charge.
The most polished, ready-to-play tight end since maybe Jeremy Shockey. I mean, this is... this feels like as much of a sure thing as you can get at tight end. And tight end used to be a position where you felt like you had to wait 3 or 4 years to really get that guy up to speed. What we saw last year suggests that is not the case with Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid. These guys can be immediate contributors, and it's certainly a position of need for the Jets.
All right, PA is entering the studio.
Here it comes,
We'll quickly recap the draft. I don't know if he's paying attention and listening or not. We're going to find out.
Yeah, here he comes.
He was okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, here he comes.
Here comes Paul Allen.
That's okay. Recap it.
There he is.
There he is.
All right, PA.
The voice of the Minnesota Vikings enters the studio. And by the way, brought to you again by Pep's Drafthouse Pizza. And you can watch us at kfan.com/watch right now to watch Paul Allen work his magic and tell you what might happen according to our draft and according to real life. PA, welcome to the show.
Here's PA. Ben, your
So
hands up.
I'll give PA a few seconds here to get situated.
What's going on there?
As he looks over
Family?
the
Happy
selections
draft day.
and what he has available, I actually 100% disagree with the Jets not taking a quarterback the way this thing has fallen.
Really?
Why you know that Aaron Rodgers is on a 1-year rental. He is not coming back next year. Do not care what happens. He is not coming back. Too much of a distraction. Age is always, this is going to be his last year in the NFL. Why not secure the future with the young quarterback that everybody's coveted in J.J. McCarthy if he's still on the board? I think it is the perfect situation to learn from Aaron Rodgers as a 21-year-old quarterback to sit and wait a year, learn the system, and then you get your quarterback for the future.
Can I just weigh in for a guy that knows what it feels like?
In this draft, he is. Well, in this draft, he is, but in real life, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, you're right, but.
Adding another quarterback to the quarterback room with Aaron Rodgers will do wonders for the chemistry.
But the thing is, this is not the Aaron Rodgers that you dealt with in Green Bay. This is
the
Aaron
ego
Rodgers
is still there, and he wants to win a Super Bowl, and he'd
That's
love
fine,
to have Brock Bowers on his team.
He's not a stupid guy. He understands the lot in his life. He knows that this is his last year. He's coming off an Achilles injury. He's not playing another year beyond this. He's one and done.
But he doesn't care about the Jets' future. He wants to win this season.
Yeah, but the Jets aren't going to start.
They're not going to listen to him.
They're not going to start JJ over him. He knows it's still his team.
Ben, it might be common sense though to take a quarterback of the future, but Rodgers did his own research, and he thinks that tight end makes more sense. Ben, we can argue about that forever, but look, it comes down to this. It's pick 11. Paul Allen is here. He's the voice of the Vikings IPA.
Here it is. Season's on the line. Let's play.
We need two things, of course. We need... We need what the Vikings would do in this exact scenario. I'll go through them in a second. And then we need your just general take on what their plan is for 11. But here's a quick recap. The Bears took Caleb Williams. The Commanders took Jaden Daniels. The Patriots at 3 take Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers at 5 take Malik Neighbors. Giants at 6, Roma Dunze. Titans at 7, Joe Alt. Falcons at 8, Dallas Turner. Bears at 9, Byron Murphy. Jets at 10, Brock Bowers. If it falls like that tonight, what do the Vikings do at 11?
If it falls like that, then I ran into somebody yesterday who either heard Paul Charchian say something or he saw it on Twitter about, and it's quite crafty too, that the first Vikings pick would be a cornerback at 11-1. Does 11-1 sound right, Charge?
Yeah, that's about right.
Right. So, therefore, I believe Terry and Arnold of Alabama would very much be in play here. Cornerback Terry and Arnold, I think, would be in play as the way it has fallen at that stage.
Even with JJ
Even with McCarthy on the board.
No. My bad.
Right
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I thought there was going to be a pregnant pause.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so wound up thinking the Giants are taking J.J. McCarthy at 6. So therefore, I assumed he was at 6. I missed the
He's still on the board.
Dunze steam. So yeah, J.J. McCarthy would be the pick.
It would be J.J., okay.
I'd bet a fair amount on that.
All right, but what do you think's really going to happen?
I'm starting to hear from some people that I respect that aren't necessarily in the state but work in the game that there's a lot of media creation with J.J. McCarthy in the top 10.
Yep.
And I intimated that earlier in the week, 9 to noon, that J.J. McCarthy's the one who I think is sliding a little bit in the estimation of some people with whom I chat. Doesn't mean that he will slide past 11. But I'm heading into the draft show tonight with Nacho and Bursich and Charge, just waiting for a trade with the New England Patriots for Drake May. And there are things that I believe Kevin O'Connell likes about Drake May that I haven't shared 9 to noon, and I will share if they do take him. So I've been sitting back on that, just waiting for the opportunity for the team to get up and get Drake May at pick number 3.
But think about the two things you just said. The equity you have to give up to get to 3 to get May,
right.
Or the potential of McCarthy falling at 11. Everything we've been talking about for the last 2 or 3 months is how, man, it would be awesome to get your hands on Drake May or J.J. McCarthy. That completely changes if one of them you have to give up the house for, and the other one is just call his name.
Right.
That's a huge difference.
And
you better be right.
Yeah, right. And again, I'm not trying to be Mel Kiper here or Todd McShay. I just don't watch enough of it. I rely on people like Lieber and other people around the league. They just kind of get me set up the right way and have over the years. As my discernment goes, I love J.J. McCarthy. I love everything about him. And I love the like the clay that can be molded behind the scenes with the fiery nature of the guy with the good arm. And the hockey background may be trite to some, but I mean, this is a very, very tough kid. Now, when you say give up the metaphorical farm, I would assume that you're saying 3 first-round picks. Okay, because and again, when it comes to the what you give and what extra you give, I mean that's I'm out on that. I just don't know how that exactly works personally. If the New England Patriots are offered 3 first-round picks, 11, 23, and next year, their new head coach is a defensive-minded guy. They need help all over, and they need help on defense, like Charch said, needs all. Mayo wants at least one defensive guy out of this first round. And as many have said, up to like say 11, a lot of offensive players are going to be taken. I mean, simply look at the Power Trip mock draft. So there are prime defensive players to be had there. They know that. I don't think they mind that, but I would say to Elliott Wolf, it's 3 first-round picks and that's it. I mean, there ain't no extra third. There ain't no 20. No, that's it, bro. I mean, if you want 3 first-round picks, which is a hell of a haul, then that's it. And if they say no, and I think they'd be stupid to say no, quite honestly, because I don't think they're going to use Drake May out of the gate either. Then you maneuver from 11, like Bosberg said, from Field Yates, I believe it is from ESPN. I believe that. I believe a trade up to 7 or 8 for J.J. McCarthy could be in play. But Drake May at 3. That's the A topic heading into the draft this evening. But J.J. McCarthy's most likely going to go in the top 10. So, with all due respect to the Power Trip mock draft, if he did, I mean, I really like him 6 to the Giants. Then Terry and Arnold, the corner from Alabama, would pay Charch's guy.
All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we go commercial-free the rest of the way. Commercial-free rest of the way after this, and we'll get all the way through pick 23, just in case the Vikings end up staying at pick 23. More of the Power Trip mock draft after this on The Fan.
Hey, all right. Pep's Drafthaus.
I believe it's Drafthaus.
Drafthaus. I think that's Italian.
Grower Pilsner to go? I got to get back to Joe's Haas.
Got pizza in the house! Man, I'm glad this pizza's big. We got full Haas.
For pizza with big toppings and even bigger taste, you need to
take it to the house.
When you're going to pizza, take it to the house. The house. Pep's Drafthaus.
Luther and LutherAuto.com. It is the Luther Tire event the entire month of April. And look, the month of April almost over. So if you want to get in on this, better make today or tomorrow, I would say at the latest, your opportunity to buy 4 tires from Luther, and they'll give you a $100 Luther gift card. So it turns out the best place to buy a car is the best place to buy tires. Now, you may be saying, well, I don't really know that much about tires, so I don't even know what I'm looking for. Well, that's okay as well, because they have a wide selection of tires, brand names that you know and trust, and they have factory-trained experts. They have people, of course, that know everything about cars, everything about tires. They'll walk you through the process, work with your budget. You get lifetime free tire rotations at Luther. You get the everyday low pricing at Luther. You get great customer service. And ultimately, when the whole thing is over, they're going to give you that $100 Luther gift card. So if you need tires, get to a Luther dealership today. There's 45 all over the Twin Cities and beyond. Find those dealerships online at LutherAuto.com. It is the Luther Tire event, LutherAuto.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams. Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Looking to upgrade to a better driving job or interested in starting a truck driving career? Schneider is hiring drivers for dedicated accounts in the Twin Cities area. As a dedicated driver, you can choose from daily and weekly home time options. Plus, you'll get consistent and predictable freight with paychecks you can rely on. Don't have a CDL? Take advantage of Schneider's company-paid CDL training program. Explore dedicated driving jobs in your area and apply at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hey, it's Hockey here for Builders and Remodelers. If every time you bought something from somebody, you knew you'd get the best products at great prices, all backed by the best warranties, would you choose those people? I did. That's exactly why I recommend to you Builders and Remodelers. And to celebrate their 72nd anniversary, call them right now. You'll save 72% off installation labor on any siding or doors project. Or get your third window free when you buy 2, including installation. Plus, 36 months, no interest financing for qualified buyers. Go to buildersandremodelers.com for details. Nobody does it better.
Remembering all the ways Minnesota lottery dollars help our state is easy. Just think of this acronym: Beaches Treat Cows. It stands for Bees, Education, Agriculture, Canoeing, Habitats, Endangered Species, Transit, Renewable Energy, Air Quality, Trails, Conservation, Outreach, Water, and Sustainability. See? It's easy. Since 1990, the Minnesota Lottery has raised nearly $4 billion to help our very own Beaches Treat Cows. So say I'm in and play your part in helping Minnesota.
It's Paul Allen. Home improvement projects can be labor-intensive, time-consuming, and expensive. So when replacing your windows and doors, make life easy on yourself and call Renewal by Anderson. They manage every phase of the project for you: the sale, manufacturing, installation, and warranty. And they have more than 4,500 five-star reviews here in the greater Twin Cities. Plus, with Renewal by Anderson's easy pay options, you can do your entire project at an affordable price. Call by April 30th, and when you buy 4 or more units, you'll save $400 on every window and $850 on every patio and entry door during Renewal by Anderson's Triple Savings event. And special financing is available. Call 651-240-1010. 651-240-1010. That's 651-240-1010. Visit renewalbyanderson.com for additional details.
Ben's Appearance is sponsored by Lexus of Wayzata and Maplewood.
From the 651 Carpets Plus, home of the Next Day Install Studios, this is the Power Trip on FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan. Welcome back to the 69th annual NFL Mock Draft.
That's right. Brought to you by our friends at Pep's Drafthouse Pizza. The experts have assembled. We've been through the first 11 picks, Corey, and it's gotten hot and heavy in here.
Yeah, we got to kind of get moving a little bit because, look, everyone assumes the Vikings will not have pick 23 today, but you never know.
We got to get there.
Maybe weird things happen. Who knows? So in our mock draft, though, PA would have selected J.J. McCarthy, number 11.
Yeah.
But now we're at pick 12, and my guess is the Denver Broncos are pissed. Dave Sinekin is here. Hi, Dave. You are picking 12 for Denver.
Yeah, we're pissed that we're on the clock right now. We thought we had a deal with Philly at 22 to move down. Philly wanted our pick to grab a corner. The Steelers have been all over us to move up to 12. We can't believe those deals fell through, and we're sitting here on the clock. We have needs across the board, but we don't have a second-round pick, so we would love to move down here. It didn't happen. We could use an edge rusher like Latu. We could use a cornerback like Quinyon Mitchell. We could use a tackle like Penn State's Fashanu. In fact, George Payton has those three's name on the board, and he's trying to pick between the three. But wait, Sean Payton just burst through the door and said, hold on a second. We got Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, and Ben DiNucci, and I'm not getting any younger. I need some help, and it's way too early, and we'd rather draft him at 20 or 22, but we're stuck at 12. We will take the quarterback, Bo Nix, who looks a little like Tony Romo. That's who he's comped to, who went to Eastern Illinois like Sean Payton. He's got a little Drew Brees in him, that he's not a big arm. He likes to throw the ball around. He's been around college forever, obviously, 2 schools. He's polished. He's got a lot of talent. We think Sean Payton can mold him into our next franchise quarterback. We understand it's too early. We'd rather take him in the bottom of the first round, but here we are at 12. We need our guy. We're taking Bo Nix.
Oh, Ben, was he not a redshirt freshman when you started at K-State?
You know, with the way the board is shaped up, I would have looked at Michael Penix before Bo Nix. Look, the thing is, I think Bo's been getting not a lot of credit. A little bit of hate that they think that he's just a system guy. But what he showed at Oregon is what he can do as far as mobility, athleticism. I think that he does a great job of throwing off platform on the run. He's got a good enough arm. He doesn't have a cannon, but I probably like Bo Nix more than most people like him. But in this scenario, I would have taken Michael Penix.
All right. The 13th selection, our favorite town on the planet, Las Vegas, Nevada, the Raiders and Eric Nordquist.
Hey, welcome back. Okay.
Hi, Nordo.
So excited for this because we think that the Broncos reached a little bit with Bo Nix. And they had to. They couldn't trade back. You heard all that mumbo-jumbo. The Raiders are running to take Michael Penix Jr., 13th overall, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, who cares? Thayer Munford is one of their offensive line. Who the hell's that guy? But they're going southpaw in Michael Penix Jr. at 13.
Thank you, Nordo.
Charge.
It's a move the Raiders almost have to make. This is the prototypical desperate for a quarterback, reaching for a guy that has no business being selected at this stage of the draft. Not only is he not the best player available at pick number 13, Michael Penix is probably the 14th or 15th best player available at this stage of the draft. But the Raiders are stuck at quarterback, and I can understand the selection, but don't love it here. I got a lot of problems with Michael Penix's game. I don't like the mechanics. I don't like the happy feet. I hate his accuracy outside of the pocket. He drops down to a 43% completion rate outside of the pocket. That kid's a project, and I don't love him at 13, but I can understand why Nordo made the selection for the Raiders because they don't have a quarterback.
Can we just quickly go around the room? I know we got to keep pace here to get to 23, but let's just quickly go around the room. If at some point tonight the Vikings call the name Bo Nix or Michael Penix, whether it's at 11, 23, or whatever, but in the first round, one of those two guys is the guy. I just want to hear, I'm thrilled, I'm disappointed, or I'm somewhere in the middle. Greg, Penix and Nix.
I like Penix. I don't like Nix, but I wouldn't take either one of them at 11.
Ben.
Well, yeah, if we're talking about 11.
Or 23, just in general.
Or 23. I mean,
if
we walk away from the first round with one of these guys, let's say 23. I would prefer Penix over Nix, but I think Nix in the right system can be a decent player.
Rosie, Penix and Nix.
Well, and you said it best. It's the right system. Can Kevin O'Connell bring the best out of Bo Nix? I mean, you saw him play enough, but I think Michael Penix has that electric sort of feel to him that he could add a lot to Justin Jefferson and the assortment of weapons the Vikings have. And I think from the Viking fan base, they'd be deeply disappointed if Nix ends up on this team and not Michael Penix if it came down to those two.
Max?
Bo Nix, I am going to grab a bottle of Hennessy and start drinking. If it's Michael Penix, I'll grab a bottle of champagne and pop a bottle.
Sauce, yes or no?
I would be pissed if it was Bo Nix, and I think the fans would be mad. I would be fine with Michael Penix, but not at 11. You move back.
Dave, you're an Indiana guy.
I love Michael Penix. If the Vikes leave tonight with a cornerback at 11 and Penix at 23, I think they've had a home run. I think Penix is going to be one of the best three quarterbacks out of this draft.
Charge?
Like everybody else, at 23, I'm fine with that. I prefer Penix over Nix, even though I just hammered Penix. I don't like him this early, but yeah, at 23, fine. We'll work with him.
All right on. All right, Greg Swedberg, pick 14, the New Orleans Saints.
Well, all the quarterbacks are gone, so that takes that off the equation. So they also need offensive line and trying to figure out who's better between Olu Fashanu and J.C. Latham. I have no idea. They both look good to me, and they both look versatile and the kind of people that New Orleans would take. We just think the name Olu Fashanu is a cooler name, so we'll take Olu Fashanu at 14.
Good pick.
It is a good pick. He's a prototypical left tackle, very good in pass protection, quick. He can anchor a lot. Just you could watch his tape and just go, this is the technique of a guy that I want to build around. And if you were to just map out the frame of what you want for your left tackle, this is the guy, Olu Fashanu from Penn State. It makes sense. It's a team need, and they're not going to be able to help themselves a quarterback here.
If you're watching on KFAN.com/watch, Zach is panicking, Googling how to spell whatever name was just called.
Brilliant.
Pick 15 is the Colts. So they get Anthony Richardson back after, missing most of the season, but he looked pretty promising. Charts, you have pick 15.
I am Colts General Manager Chris Ballard. I am looking forward to a Hair Restoration Institute endorsement someday. Me too. My secondary is a wreck in no small part because at this time last year, my best cornerback got suspended for sports gambling. I need cornerbacks. I need safeties. There's no safety that should go here. and I've got every cornerback available to me. So I will take what I believe is the best cornerback in this draft, Terrion Arnold from Alabama. He plays the left side of the field, super versatile, really good against the run, high IQ guy, leader, ball control guy. He's a big hitter, super fluid. I think they go cornerback with this pick, and they've got their choice of all of them available. We're going to go Terrion Arnold here.
I want that guy on the Vikes so bad.
He's a great pick,
I
Charge.
love that
That's
player.
a really good pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was Kool-Aid McKinstry was the top corner when the season started, and Terrion Arnold beat him out of that job.
Yeah.
Terrion Arnold is a ball-hawking stud.
Pick 16 is the Seattle Seahawks and meet Sauce Paul Lambert.
This is an easy pick. Like Chart said about the Patriots, the Seahawks need every single defensive position except for corner because they've nailed that in the past drafts. This will be easy. We will run to the podium.
Take your time.
There will be no pandemonium. We love this pick. The Seattle Seahawks at pick 16 will take Jerzon Newton from Illinois, defensive tackle.
Wow.
It's the biggest need we have. We need a guy up the middle. It's that I think is a great pick.
He's a 3-technique pass rushing specialist as a defensive tackle. Lots of quickness and agility, lateral moves, a team leader as well. Not an anchor kind of guy. So I don't think he's I think he's going to be a pure 3-technique. But if you want to try to get pass pressure from the D tackle spot, Jerzon Newton makes a ton of sense here.
Love it.
Thanks, George.
And again, brought to you by our friends at Pep's Drafthouse Pizza. It's the NFL mock draft number 69 overall for your Power Trip Morning Show. On the clock is who, Corey?
Limp Bizkit's very own Jacksonville Jaguars. Pick 17 and Ben Lieber.
All right, so the Jags pretty much address their wide receiver need a little bit with Gabe Davis. They also have Zay Jones still on the roster and Christian Kirk. I don't think that they go wide receiver, even though they might think that they can go wide receiver and add some depth, but they need some cornerback help. And with Terrion Arnold gone, they're going to go with the Toledo Rocket and Quinyon Mitchell.
Insanely fast. He's like 4.2 something, right, Ben?
Yeah, I think, he ran 23.58 miles an hour on straight line speed.
Which is, that's Olympic track speed right there. 52 passes defended. So unlike a lot of the track star cornerbacks, this guy's got ball skills, which makes him really, really different. He's only allowed 50 yards in his coverage 2 times ever. Had a penalty against him at Toledo. Quinyon Mitchell makes a ton of sense.
Why
here
is he not going higher then? Is it just needs of other teams? Is that the main reason he's not a top 10 kind of a guy?
Not a hitter, right?
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as Terrion Arnold not going higher. I mean, I think it's his team need. I mean, they're both high end. I mean, Arnold's probably the best man coverage guy, and Mitchell's probably more of a zone cover guy, so it could come down to scheme. But I think just the way other team needs are, these guys kind of fall a little bit.
Sauce.
Quickly, this is more to PA's point with the Patriots is if you look at this draft and they want defense, there will be a ton of defensive players between 11 and 23. They will have a ton of picks if they take the Vikings picks. They can move all over the draft board and maybe get 2 defensive starters in this draft.
Pick 18 is the Cincinnati Bengals. There's trouble in paradise, Ben. Everybody wants out. A couple of people asked for trades yesterday, T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson. What do they do at 18? Trouble in paradise in Cincinnati.
Well, it's interesting because it really does change my perspective on what we should do. And I think that you can depart with a guy like T. Higgins if he's super unhappy. I think they're really going to miss a huge chunk of their defense and their team. I mean, Trey Hendrickson is a guy that is kind of the lifeblood and the heartbeat of that defense outside of Hubbard. So I'm going to hedge all of that, and I'm going to go with one of my favorite players, Leatu Latu, who's still on the board. Yeah. And you can now say, all right, let's see what we can get for Trey Hendrickson, even though he's got a couple years left on this deal, and we're going to go with the young stud out of UCLA.
Wow.
He's amazing. You're watching him say 129 pressures in his last 25 games. It was astounding. So many tackles for losses. He led college football for defensive ends in win rate percentage, pass rush win rate percentage, amazing hands, lateral movement. You'll see him move down the line of scrimmage often. Not a big body, so he can get bullied out of some plays, but if you want somebody who just brings blazing speed to your edge rush, Leatu Latu is your guy.
Can I say this, guys? If I would rather them not give away the farm and take Arnold and or Atu, and I don't want to reach for a quarterback and give away the farm. Do you know what I mean? Those two players are studs, man. Those guys we really could use some defense too. I don't know. Am I crazy about that?
No, you're not.
Not at all.
But they've painted themselves in a corner. That's the issue.
You can't do what the fans want. You got to do the right thing.
You can't, right, but you can't do what the fans want. But you also, though, you didn't get pick 23 to take 2 defensive players. You just didn't. They have that pick. You could, but plan A and B are to try and fire up the draft board to get a quarterback. Sure, 3 years from now, we'll go, man, those 3 defensive players were absolute studs. But at the moment they're drafted tonight, it is the wrong pick, if that makes any sense, right? People will be pissed.
Well,
no, I know.
It's Kevin Seifert.
They need a
People
quarterback.
were pissed when they took Kevin Williams.
Sure.
Look how good Kevin Williams was.
Yeah, Kevin Williams is a monster.
People were pissed when they took Ben Lieber.
Well, yeah, we're still
we didn't
pissed
take
about
Ben
that.
Lieber.
He knew that. Hockey knew that.
Well, as Kevin Seifert just pointed out, the Vikings have drafted only 4 quarterbacks in the first round ever. This is a chance. This is why they got number 23 to parlay this into forgetting what it's going to cost. They've never drafted higher than number 11 overall. They haven't had a franchise quarterback since Fran Tarkenton. I know what you're saying, Chris. Many times I wish they could just take the 2 best available players and go with it. But they need a quarterback, period.
I'm telling you, they're going to. They just are.
Sauce, pick 19 in the Rams.
We wanted a lot. They need a defensive tackle. Aaron Donald left. They need some edge players, right? The Rams are one of the better teams drafting in the later rounds, right? The wide receiver they got last year, incredible. They got him in the 5th round, right? They're very good at doing that. We wanted Leatu Latu. UCLA to LA would not have been a bad drive. We wanted Jerzon Newton. He's gone. And we would have loved Byron Murphy Jr. But we'll sit at 19, and we'll take the Florida State defensive end, Jared Verse.
Anybody?
I think this is a very likely outcome. There's a small chance they go quarterback here and they start planning for the future at quarterback if they like Penix or Bo Nix and they want to build for future years after Matthew Stafford. But if they're going to address need now, defensive line is the right spot, and Jared Verse probably the best defensive lineman available right now. Versatile, makes big plays, lots of tackles for loss and sacks, super productive, high effort and motor guy, good against the run as well, which you don't always get. So I think this pick makes a ton of sense by Scott.
I think they're taking Michael Penix. I just do.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are pick 20, and that's Paul Charchian.
That is me. I am Steelers general manager Omar Khan. This offseason, I've gained quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Justin Fields basically for free. I've solved my quarterback problem at no cost.
Solved it? Seriously, that's ridiculous.
Well, at least short term, right? Yeah. You know, I've got a starter for this year, and maybe if Justin Fields works out, I've got him for years to come.
Gave nothing for him.
I need offensive line help. My team ranked 31st in pass blocking by Pro Football Focus. I've got to put my quarterbacks in a position where they can get more help than what they've been able to get to this point. So we're going to go offensive line here. We love the flexibility that we can get from a variety of different players, but we're going to go J.C. Latham here from Alabama. He's a right tackle who can play some guard. He's a pass protection bully, moves well, good hands, durable. It's not the most exciting pick in the world, but it's the pick that the Steelers need.
It's an excellent pick, Charch. He's a dynamite player. He's very good. The only issue he might have is a little bit of, as Tommy Boy once said, a little bit of a weight problem. But he is a mauler as a right tackle. He can play almost anywhere on the offensive line, maybe except for center. J.C. Latham is being mocked as high as the 5th overall pick.
He is the DraftKings favorite to go 5th at plus 275.
How about that?
Wow. Great pick,
Ben?
Charge. Great pick.
Ben doesn't have his headphones on. Ben, do you like this guy?
Yeah, I like him. I think they're also looking for maybe more of a true interior guy. You know, if the Jackson Powers guy was maybe a little higher in the draft, felt like they weren't stretching to get the offensive center, they could go that direction. But why not get this immense talent?
Pick 21 is the Miami Dolphins. Greg Swedberg.
The Steelers taking Latham makes it a little easier for the Dolphins. The Dolphins wanted a defensive tackle. There's no first-rounders left there. There's only one first-round tight end, so they can't get that done. They need help all along the offensive line. And they can probably go interior and get a guy who's pretty versatile. So they'll take out of Washington the first guard, Troy Fatanu.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Troy Fatanu. Bye, Ben.
Gave a lot of thought to that and the previous pick for Pittsburgh because they need that's a team that needs guard help as well. He can play guard, center, and tackle. So you get all the flexibility, explosive, mobile, a lot of body control. Equally good as a pass blocker and a run blocker. Super athletic. I think that's a fantastic selection with at this spot of the draft.
All right, pick 22, the Philadelphia Eagles and Eric Nordquist.
Well, good morning and happy draft day. The Philadelphia Eagles, if you remember last year, everyone was ripping Sean Desai, the offensive coordinator. He was terrible. Well, they were still 7th in the NFL. The problem with the Eagles last year, they fired their coordinators. The defense was 30th in the NFL a year ago. So now they bring in Vic Fangio, new sheriff in town, to run the defense. They need help. They need playmakers. I'm going with one of the more versatile and interesting playmakers in this draft. His name is Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
And he's that defensive back out of Iowa. And the Eagles and Vic Fangio can't wait to make him their Swiss Army knife in 2024.
Good pick, Nordo. Very good pick.
Freak athlete, big hitter, love his tackling and finishing abilities. Super smooth as a cornerback. Huge toolkit. He's going to be great on special teams. Get this in my notes on Cooper DeJean. Yards after catch. He is the rare cornerback who's got so many ball skills, and he gets the ball in his hands so often he houses them for touchdowns. Yards after catch for Cooper DeJean. He's going to help this team lots of different ways, and the Eagles need help at cornerback. That's probably priority number one for them.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we're at pick 23.
It is time.
Paul Allen is back. 23 is the pick. Let's do the mock draft first. If it falls this way, hopefully you've been listening. Do you have a list in front of you?
Yes.
Pick 23 would go which direction?
If it falls this way, we got sniped badly by the Seattle Seahawks with Jerzon Newton. Then we would pivot to Duke offensive lineman Graham Barton. He's the most versatile offensive lineman in the draft in that he plays all the positions, and he would start at guard game one.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, hold on.
More importantly, let me just ask you the conceptual question. Percent chance they even have pick 23 tonight?
I mean, that's such an impossible question to answer.
That's why I asked.
I mean,
That's what he does.
I'm going to say that they have 23 this evening, 35%, less than 50%. Yeah, I think getting up to 3 is the A topic. And I'm hoping it happens.
What do you say the likelihood of that is? Getting to the 3rd overall pick.
35% the other way. Sauce math would mean 75%.
May I ask you also, Paul? Go ahead.
So if they,
you like my guy?
I do very much. He's my favorite offensive lineman in the draft. I also like Jackson Powers Johnson.
Thank you. Mason McCormick, South Dakota State University.
Both those guys would be wonderful in the middle of the Vikings line. Let's just say, Paul, then so we pull it off. We move to number 3. What do the Vikings do for cornerback this year and defensive line and the rest of the offensive line? Are we just not going to play with those this year?
Well, I mean, it's look at what they did in free agency. Okay, so with Cashman, Grenard, Van Ginkel, and still the draft. All right, and then look at what they had last year, or what they didn't have, what they didn't get out of Dean Lowry, what they didn't get out of Marcus Davenport. Don't forget that with the way Flores does things, there were a handful of players who had the best seasons of their careers. So why can't that happen year 2 for players who have been in it, and year 1 with new players they get, free agents or whatever? So in Flores, I absolutely trust. The MO on him when he got here was that he takes middling and makes it good and makes it very good, and if you're very good, he can make you great. And we saw that for a large part of the season last year, not in the beginning, not in the end. But nevertheless, no, I think Flores has a handle on it. But I see what you're saying. Jerzon Newton would be unbelievable here at 23.
Paulie, I know you're working, and we appreciate you being on the Power Trip. Anytime you're ever on the Power Trip, but I got to ask you one more question. It's the Power Trip mock draft brought to you by Pep's Drafthaus Pizza.
Yeah.
Pep's Drafthaus Pizza.
What do you got?
I don't think J.J. McCarthy is going to go very high. I think all this has been a subterfuge.
Maybe a little bit.
You agree with me?
Well, it's like I said earlier, is that I've heard this week that of the quarterbacks, McCarthy is heading the wrong way, and Penix Jr. is heading the right way. So Penix Jr. in the mid-teens, somewhere around there. That's what I'll have my radar on. My radar will be there this evening. And with McCarthy and with May, you in essence are investing in a stock. You're getting something that you feel fits what you do exactly, perfectly, and you are afforded the opportunity to wait for it. So that's why I think McCarthy. Well, I can't see McCarthy getting past Denver. So 12 is absolutely the ceiling for him in my estimation.
So you're a betting man. If you were a betting man and had to put one bet on tonight's draft, you're saying you would put the most money that they get their hands on Drake May.
Is it plus money? You asked the question.
Sure.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, if I had $1,000 bankroll, so that $750 goes there. A trade at 7 or 8 for McCarthy gets the other $250, and then we meet the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC title game, and you're on your own after that.
Got it. So you believe we will have a Power Trip morning show tomorrow, 5:30 to 9, discussing a new quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been led to believe. But, Charch and a lot of others have laid it out very, very pragmatically. It takes the cliche two to tango. And I stick by what I said, is that if 3 first-round picks is not enough to get in that spot, screw you, man. I mean, that's a lot. You're not whomever you take, you're not using. Whomever we take, we're not using this year. So if you really want to do that, and your new head coach, big-time defensive guy, if you really want to skip on these nice defensive players, then good luck.
What do you got 9 to noon to preview the draft?
Oh, we got a lot. It's NFL draft heavy today. It's not Wolves be damned. I'm really into that squad right now, but they play tomorrow night. So it's all NFL draft. Alan Roach, the Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox, he does the draft. So he's in Detroit. He'll be on at 9:35, and Alec Lewis is in studio at 11 o'clock. And, good. Corey Chavis right out of the gate at 9. Oh, good.
That's your voice, correct?
That'd be good.
This one?
No,
good.
That's Paul Charchian.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he's also the one that said they call him Puffy. Multiple reasons.
All right, thanks, Dave.
See you. Good show.
Thank you, buddy.
Ooh.
All right, Dave. We might as well quickly ask you, Dave.
care.
What are the Packers going to do in the draft?
I'm so happy you asked, Corey. I think there's a non-zero chance they try to move into the mid-teens if a cornerback or their favorite tackle is still sitting there. Maybe a deal with Seattle, which doesn't have a 2, and Green Bay has 2 2s. But if they stay at 25, it's either a lineman or a cornerback like Cooper DeJean if he's there. I just posted my 7-round mock draft at zonecoverage.com. I've got the Packers taking the giant ball of clay Amarius Mims out of Alabama, who has a grand total of 8 starts, but is a mountain of a man, doesn't need to start right away. They need to address the offensive line. They've got their quarterback. They've got the skill position guys. They have to rebuild the line. They lost 3 guys, so I think Green Bay goes O-line with their first pick.
All right, round the room. Any final thoughts? Things you're looking forward to tonight? Things you want to see tonight? Sauce, this is your Christmas. Let's start with you.
I think what PA has said all along is exactly right. I think you are going to lean on the New England Patriots enough that maybe they just say, yes, we have a very bad roster. We want one of these defensive players. That is plan A. Plan B is to fire up at pick 6, 7, or 8 to get J.J. McCarthy. Then after that, if you take 2 defensive players, you have to remember, Vikings fans, they are getting 2 players in the top 25 of the NFL draft. So it's either quarterback, or 2 defensive players.
Can I just say something before everybody else goes around the room, though? If everything's that PA is saying is correct, and I believe that it is, right? That plan A is kind of Drake May, plan B is see if we can get our hands on McCarthy. Then if you can't find a trade partner and those 2 guys are off the board before 11, then by definition, if you take Bo Nix or Michael Penix, you're settling for somebody that you didn't want. Already you're going, even if you like Penix or Nix, it's not the one you wanted. Right. Then it feels like Ponder 2.0. Yeah. Son of a bitch.
But that's why they are going to sell out to get pick 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8.
Rosie.
Well, I believe, too, that from the time they acquired the 23rd overall pick, that their sole focus has been not just to get a quarterback, but to get Drake May. And as Sauce has said, I think in a perfect world, if the Wolves are still playing Phoenix next Tuesday night, Drake May will be introduced at Target Center and the place will erupt. That's the perfect world. But we all
there's
know
not going to be a game 5.
There may not be. There's probably what's a better chance? The Wolves will sweep Phoenix, or Drake May will be a quarterback for the Vikings. I just think that they're bound and determined to get him, but they're not going to sell the farm. There's going to be a lot. I mean, all hell's going to break loose in those 10 minutes when Kwesi and others GMs are calling New England. And what is going to happen? The intrigue at U.S. Bank Stadium tonight is going to be off the charts. And if New England keeps that pick and takes Drake May, I think people are going to feel a little bit deflated. But then you got to kind of recover in a hurry and say, what's the best players available? Who are we going to get at 11-23?
Greg,
I hate giving up 2 drafts for something you're not 100% sure of.
Mm-hmm.
It drives me crazy. I mean, there's not real consensus that these guys are for sure going to be great. Having said that, I trust O'Connell enough, and this is O'Connell's draft. This is not Kwesi's draft. O'Connell's the one calling the shot as who the quarterback's going to be. If they have to give up 3 number 1s to get to number 3, I will just bite my tongue and live with it, because to me that's too much. But I wouldn't give up. I'm like PA. Don't give up more than 3 number 1s. Mm-hmm. That's too much. So if they walk away with May, this all depends. How much more do you like May than McCarthy?
A lot.
How much more than McCarthy do you like instead of Penix? It's really how many assets you're going to give up to get the guy you want. And to me, this is just like I got knots in my stomach because of this. This is the weirdest draft of all time.
But isn't it the most fun to care this much? I love it so much.
Charge, final touch. You just said May versus McCarthy. I heard you say a lot.
There's a big difference between May and McCarthy, and there's a big difference between McCarthy and Penix. I don't think this team will move up to get McCarthy. I think the way he finds himself to the Vikings is if he slides to 11, which is a very real possibility. And what would really be stunning is if he was there at 11 and the Vikings passed on McCarthy.
Yeah, that would be
if you
amazing.
want best player available,
Right.
it's not J.J. McCarthy. It's going to be a defender at that stage of the draft. And there are a lot of listeners who feel very strongly that, take the best player available. Always do that. And if that's the case, this team's going to go defense and defense with their 2 picks.
But you still, based on what you just said, it sounds like you still want them to target Drake May, and you think he's worth going up for.
If you can get Drake May, I'd do it, because I think Drake May's got the kinds of skills that you want in an NFL level.
Then you got to go get him.
But you got to have somebody to trade with. That's a problem.
That's the
if
problem.
I'm the Patriots, there isn't enough you can give to make me pass on Drake May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
To PA's point quickly, though, like he said, is you're going to offer them 3 first-round picks, and the players that they can get with those 11 and 23 will probably play. Drake May will sit on that roster because that roster is horse bleep. I'm just going to sit on that until I'm right, and I probably will be wrong because I'm always wrong. But New England is the worst roster in the last 25 years.
And Drake May, I think, would sit on the bench here until about halftime of game 1.
You are. See, I like when you.
That's
That's
son of
my
a bitch
password
in
partner.
the game as
That's
quickly
my
as
password
possible.
partner.
Sam Darnold,
Yes.
get Drake May in there.
Let's go.
We'll break it down tomorrow, 5:30 to 9. And also,
Thank
by
you,
the way,
everybody.
tomorrow the $64,000 question will be the jackpot. We're at $64K tomorrow.
Hell
for
yeah.
the St. Paul Federal Credit Union Initials jackpot. $64,000 on the line tomorrow at 8:15. We'll be draft heavy tomorrow as well. 9 to noon is next.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
KFAN Total Traffic.
Hey, all right. Pep's Drafthaus.
I believe it's Drafthaus.
Drafthaus. I think that's Italian.
Grower Pilsner to go? I got to get back to Joe's Haas.
Pizza in the house! Man, I'm glad this pizza's big. We got full Haas.
For pizza with big toppings and even bigger taste, you need to
Take it to the house!
When you're going to pizza, take it to the house. House. Pep's Drafthaus.
Exclusively at Luther Mazda. 0% financing for 36 months on